WWE has introduced something major that has the community split down the middle. We'll also see what's going on for Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and more. Starting things off with the major reveals involving Seth Rollins and what has fans split there. When the Masked Man started coming after the members of the Vision, everyone figured that the man behind those attacks was not Seth himself, but maybe they were still sent by Seth to do that job. And that turned out to be exactly true. But the other big twist to this reveal was that it actually was not one single masked man that was behind the attacks. Seth had multiple men at his disposal that were all wearing the hood, giving the impression to the story that each attack was done by a completely different person over the last few months. This all led up to, of course, the major reveal itself at Elimination Chamber, where Seth used one of the members of his army as a distraction, and this opened up the door of opportunity for him to sneak into the Elimination Chamber and attack Logan Paul. Seth took the mask and hoodie off after that attack and made it known that it was himself who was responsible for that attack on Logan Paul. Here's where things started to lean into this new direction. Usually after a big hooded figure unmasking, the superstar in question drops the entire all-black outfit gimmick and returns to whatever their casual attire and wardrobe is. But that has not been the case with Seth Rollins. Even after the big unmasking reveal at Elimination Chamber, Seth is actually continuing to wear the all-black outfit. He's still wearing the mask and hood, and he's continuing to come to the ring through the crowd. So that is definitely the first unusual thing here. Even though the reveal and unmasking already happened, Seth is still making his appearances fully masked and hooded up. Why that is, we have absolutely no idea and no hints to go by at this point of the story. Not only is he still coming out in the masked look, but he has not used his entrance music at all since returning. Seth has made a few Raw appearances since coming back, but each one has featured him coming to the ring in silence through the crowd. So that's something else that everyone is in the dark about. No one knows when Seth will actually walk out to his entrance music again. Could it be at WrestleMania itself? A lot of fans are wondering if he'll keep his recent theme song, or if he'll go all the way in with this apparent rebranding of his character and give him a whole new theme. Something else about Seth since returning is that he's fully mute. He attacked and confronted Paul Heyman. He's now had a face-to-face with Adam Pearce, but has said a total of 0 words across all those segments. So maybe they're building suspense and making Seth even more mysterious by remaining quiet. Maybe that's what they're going for, and for now, maybe it'll work. Seth does not really need to speak because his goal is pretty clear. Everyone knows what he wants. He wants to get hands on the Vision and destroy whatever is left of them, which is now literally just Logan Paul and Austin Theory. WWE announced that Paul Heyman is out of action indefinitely following the attack from Seth. So that's another member down for the Vision. It seems like Seth's goal is to take out the rest of the group, so in a way, he does not have to verbalize that. Everyone understands that's what he wants, so maybe that's why they're keeping Seth quiet for the time being. The other major element of Seth's new presentation that's controversial and causing a lot of fan reactions is his Masked Man army. At first, it seemed like maybe Seth was working with 2 or 3 guys to pull off the entire Masked Man operation towards the Vision. Well, the March 9th edition of Raw shattered that idea by a long shot. Seth was accompanied to the ring by over 20 masked individuals, and they made it obvious which one was Seth because he was standing on the commentary table. But then they did a shuffle to hide him, but then he emerged again to be face-to-face with Adam. This led to Logan Paul and Austin Theory coming out to get revenge on Seth Rollins. But as soon as they start getting close, Seth puts his mask and hoodie back on, and all of the men shuffle again, so Seth gets lost in the sea of Masked Man, and they run off through the crowd. A couple of logic issues definitely spawned in here from this army of masked men. First logical issue being something that a lot of fans pointed out, and that's the question of, why did Seth Rollins run away from Logan Paul and Austin Theory? If Seth's entire life goal right now is to finish off the Vision and take out their members for good, he literally had a perfect opportunity to do exactly that on March 9th. The 2 remaining members of the Vision literally walked themselves to the ring in front of him, and talk about having a huge numbers advantage, it would have been a 20 versus 2 situation right there. A perfect opportunity for Seth and his Masked Man army to jump all over Logan Paul and Austin Theory and complete this mission of taking out the Vision. But instead of doing that, Seth is the one that runs away and retreats. Definitely a questionable action right there for the story, and since Seth does not speak right now, he did not explain his decision to run away from Logan and Austin there. So the wordless shuffle and retreat left things feeling a little bit awkward there, and this caused a big debate online amongst the fans. Some fans like Seth's new presentation, and the army of masked men, they think it's cool. Clearly the Seattle Raw crowd thought everything was cool there with their chants, but then you had other fans that found the Masked Man army to be kind of clunky and cheesy. Another issue with the Masked Man army is the simple question of, where is this leading to? You got 20 people surrounding Seth. Yeah, he can put his mask back on and get lost in the army and do that little trick, and that's all cool. But again, where is this going, specifically with the Masked Man army? Because right now, it seems like something that they do not really have mapped out at all. Is Seth just always going to have 20 masked individuals at ringside going forward for all his matches? Are the members of the army going to remain faceless, or will they eventually start revealing some of the faces of Seth's men? These are the big questions for when it comes to the army, because it's extremely unclear what the end goal is here for them. A lot of fans are comparing Seth's army to the early days of the Retribution group in 2020, where Retribution was a massive army of hooded individuals that was causing havoc in WWE. They had massive numbers, but eventually trickled down to just 5 members that were all revealed, and their story ended up going nowhere at all. The most memorable thing about that faction was probably those early on attacks. So is that the same fate for Seth's army? Maybe they'll do a couple of huge appearances with all these hooded individuals, but in the end, there is no payoff for them. It's definitely going to be weird because the March 9th edition of Raw established the fact that Seth has over 20 men working for him, so if that number suddenly shrinks or they all disappear completely, it's going to make the story look even more weird. So the Masked Man army is definitely the big question mark here. Were they brought strictly only to do that shuffle trick, or is there a deeper story and direction in mind for them? Knowing how the regime has been so far, it seems more likely that they were brought in just for the shuffle trick. You can definitely see them maybe making the Masked Man army part of Seth's special WrestleMania 42 entrance as well. If Seth is sticking with this whole Masked Man look, maybe they'll have a special WrestleMania entrance of Seth walking through this sea of masked men. That definitely seems like the type of entrance for Seth to have at WrestleMania 42. But as far as the storyline goes, it's hard to see them coming up with a story for these 20 men to be a part of. So who knows what Seth's army will be doing in a few weeks, but it sure does seem like Seth will be a part of WrestleMania 42, and it'll be interesting to see what entrance music he uses and what his presentation will be going forward. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.